Hello, everyone. This is Dave Kuda again with Vineyard Columbus, Support for Life. We recognize that just about everyone has lost something during this COVID-19 crisis. And so I wanted to give just a little bit of perspective about grief and loss, a few helpful do's and don'ts for what you're going through. And so we'll start with the don'ts first. One of the things not to do is don't pretend that you haven't lost something. That's called denial, essentially. And and it just doesn't work because we recognize there really is something there. There really is something that you have lost. And I just want to point out that healing for your situation starts the moment that you admit you're in pain. When you cry out to God and say, I've really lost something, this really hurts, that's the exact moment you start receiving some healing for what you're going through. Second is don't medicate your loss. It's really simple to do because when we're in pain, the first thing we want is to be out of pain, right? And one of the quickest, easiest ways to do that is to drink a lot or take some drugs. And yeah, it does work for a few hours until, of course, it wears off, and then you still have your pain, you still have your loss, you still have your grief. But then in addition to that, you also have a hangover. And so I'm going to advise you, do not medicate your losses. And third, don't ask the question why. Again, that's just the first question most people ask in a situation like this is, God, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? It's a question that I've often asked God. And then over time, I've found it's not a very helpful question to ask because of three reasons. One is God's under no obligation to give us an answer. Sometimes you get an answer, but sometimes you don't. Two, sometimes the answer is not all that helpful. Yeah, okay, maybe I know why I'm going through this now, but I'm still going through it. I still have the pain, I still have the hurt and loss. And so sometimes it's not even all that helpful to have an answer. And three, there's times where if God even bothered to explain it to us, we simply couldn't understand. We have very finite human minds, and God is unlimited, and his explanation could, just totally be incomprehensible to us in so many ways. So what kinds of things should you do? Well, one thing I think that's helpful to do is to name the loss. Let's figure out what exactly have I lost. Have I lost the normalcy of what life looked like? Have I lost hopes? Have I lost dreams or plans? Have I lost peace? Have I lost the security of a paycheck? Have I lost a loved one? That relationship that was so dear, it meant so much to me. Whatever your loss is, recognize that no loss is too small to escape God's notice. In Matthew 10:29, he says, not even a sparrow falls to the ground without knowing about it. So God cares about each and every loss that we suffer. Next, if we're not saying, don't ask the question why. Well, how about if we do ask the question what? What am I supposed to do with this loss? God, I've lost some dreams. What do I do with that? God, are you going to give me some new dreams? Am I going to have new plans that you're going to put in my life? We can ask, what are you teaching me, God, through this? What's going on in my heart and in my spirit through this? What is God pointing his finger at that he would like me to change? Next, I think it's really healthy to definitely worship God, even in the midst of grief and loss. And that can seem like a really hard thing to do. But I tell you that there is something really powerful in that. I've had some friends who have gone through significant losses, and they've told me, Dave, I still found a way to worship God in the middle of that. And that was really powerful and helpful for my own healing. God is God. He's still good. He's still worthy of our admiration and praise, even when we're going through pain. So worship God. And lastly, I would say allow yourself to feel the loss. If we're not going to deny it and we're not going to medicate it, then we have to allow ourselves some time to feel it. In his book, A Grace Disguised, Gerald Sitzer mentions that the quickest way to bring healing, to find the light of God, is not to run west and try to chase the setting sun, but to turn around, head east into the darkness, but into what will be the sunrise. And so he's saying, face your pain. Don't medicate it. Don't deny it. but really deal with it and allow yourself to sit there and feel it. I would caution you, though, that if you've gone through a significant loss, I wouldn't try to deal with it 24 hours a day and say, oh, hey, Dave said I need to deal with this loss, and so I'm just going to just deal with it constantly until I feel better. Well, no human is capable of really sitting in that kind of a loss or pain 24 hours a day. So allow yourself some grace, give yourself time to have a distraction of some sort, allow yourself some humor, but really allow yourself to feel that pain. Don't sit there. Every Christian, every person really, honestly, has two great choices when they're going through grief or loss. One is we can run towards God, and one is we can run away from God and reject God and push Him away. Being a Christian does not bring you freedom from pain. In John 16, verse 33, Jesus says, "In this world you will have trouble." There's a nice ironclad promise from Jesus Himself saying, you're going to have trouble in this world. And being a Christian doesn't mean you don't get that. What being a follower of Jesus does bring, though, is it brings you connection with the one who can bring comfort and life and who will restore all of your losses. Some of those losses will be restored right here on earth, but every loss will be restored in heaven in the next life. So I hope that brings some comfort and help. Again, we are offering we have plenty of support and recovery groups to help you through whatever you are going through. I'll put that in the comments section below this on Facebook. So I just pray blessings and peace on each of you.